On today's episode of Watch Chair Go, we're here with a 2015 Hyundai Sonata that's broken. And today, we're gonna save a lot of money. What is going on, guys? I'm Watch Chair Go, and this is a friend of mine's 2015 Hyundai Sonata. And of course, in the last Hyundai video, I talked about how they never break, and this is a wonderful example of that. This thing has almost 150,000 miles on it, and it's basically only ever had oil changes. I mean, what has gone wrong? And this is one of the earlier engines too. It's not the 13. I know 13 is like the bad year everyone tries to blame Hyundai reliability on, but after that, they've been really good. So this has an issue that affects the 2.0 and the 2.4 engines. And let's hop in here. We're gonna scan it, see if the code's set. I know it's been set before. It's P0010. And if it's set, I'll show you guys that. And if it's not, we're just gonna hop right in here and fix the problem. Because I have scanned it before and I found the code and we ordered the parts. The dealer wanted $500 for this repair. It kind of looks like this repair takes about 15 minutes. And the parts were only $100. So honestly, you can do this yourself very quickly, I would say, and it won't cost you much at all. So let's just hop right in and start trying to fix this thing. Let's scan it. Coming inside the 15 Hyundai Sonata. Also, again, we talked a lot about how that other car, that Elantra, did not have active cruise. Guess what does have active cruise? This 2015. It has everything it should have. It's got lane keeping. It doesn't have auto steer or anything, but it's got adaptive cruise and everything works wonderfully. More of the windows are auto. It's just nicer. Sounds like the detailers are done with that truck over there. Obviously, going up to a Sonata is a huge upgrade over an Elantra, but it's only $900 more to make the Elantra a complete car. Doesn't really compare to this. This is a nice car. Okay, let's see what the computer has to say about the problem. Today, this thing has 145,799 miles on the clock of just daily driver reliability. All right, we are done scanning. No errors anywhere except for P0010. There's extra zeros on there, which is funny, but intake camshaft positioned actuator A circuit bank 1. So this is a pretty common issue with the 15 Sonata. Originally, when these things were delivered, I'm gonna go ahead and clear the code. Quick erase. They all had this problem, and there's a TSB from Hyundai that shows how to replace just the plug that goes in this cover. But at this point, with the mileage on this, that cover kind of starts to leak. There's a big O-ring in there, and I mean, it wears out. It's not a big deal. It has 150,000 miles on this 2.4, and we're gonna fix that today, put it right back on the road, hopefully for another 150,000 miles. Let's get the hood open, and we should be done with the scanner. These are the parts that you need for this repair. If you buy them, I found them on World Hyundai Parts because they do need to be like OEM parts. I don't even think there are any other replacements for these. It's literally a side cover for an engine. So it's one of those things that you can't usually run to a parts store and get. The part number for the cover is H24360-2GGD0. And if you Google it, it will find it on one of those websites. And the plug itself that you need to replace is H, you think you dropped the H, but it's 24351-2GGA1. That's all you need. This was, like I said, about 100 shipped, and I think the shipping even cost a little bit, like $14. So it's not a terrible repair at all. What's funny is this car has that exact same super deep pearl white that the rental car I have has, and it looks incredible. They just know how to do paint colors correctly. Here we go. So, to start your repair, pull the engine cover because you have to actually pull the engine mount. A couple rubber towers holding that on. Set it aside. Check this. There's like those seeds from the trees are in there. And was that a bug or a bird? You can see some of them like came apart. And I'm gonna have to vacuum all this out. But somewhere underneath here, down there, this is direct injected, so the fuel rail's hiding down there. It's probably carboning up at this point, but a little bit of maintenance, this thing will go a very long way. More bugs and trees and stuff. This thing needs a little cleaning. Here's what we're actually replacing. It's that cover right there. Pop this connector off. There we go. Lots of water in there because I just rinsed this whole thing out. And now we're going to remove the coolant reservoir, remove the engine mount, and before we pull the engine mount, we need to support this, so we'll stick a chain through there and probably just use the cherry picker to hold the engine up. Hopefully this completely resolves that and the engine stops burning oil, because it's also literally burning oil. It's a little low and you have to check it pretty consistently once this failure starts. I know it looks like a sketchy lift, but it's very, very solid. It just has one pump on it there to try to take a little bit of weight off that engine mount. Let's start tearing things apart. It looks like we need a 10, and we can set this aside, and then maybe a 17 over here. So to start with, we're going to pull out the engine coolant reservoir here. This is the overflow tank. This hose is on there. Hopefully it doesn't spill everywhere. Perfect, perfect. We'll set that right there. 2 tins, take this out. And we'll set it aside. Also, if you don't have a cherry picker, you can pull the under tray off and support the engine from the oil pan with a jack. Just a deep 17 on an extension should pull all this apart. Ooh. We are turned all the way up. Oh, we might have to go to a bigger impact. Let me add a little bit to the jack. This thing is totally supported. Pull all these nuts off, and the upper engine mount comes off there. It's 2-piece. And we'll get the lower off to get it out of the way. 4 more 17s down here. It even has locating tabs, so you can't mess any of this up. I'm telling you, the best mechanical engineers in the game. Probably about time to do motor mounts on this thing, but they're not leaking. It's in pretty good shape. Once you have that motor mount out of the way, there's a bracket here that actually attaches to. It's on there with, a couple of those bolts are gonna be fun to get to, but it's not a big deal. One of them, you can't get an impact in there. You could definitely get a cordless ratchet down in there. So these are 14s. There's, looks like maybe 5 or 6 bolts on this you'll have to get off. There's actually one more fastener down at the bottom of that. That would explain why it didn't just pop off. So, if I can find the 14 deep. There it goes. Okay, we have the side engine mount bracket off. There's 3 tins on this side cover that you're gonna have to pop off of there. And when it comes off, it might dump oil everywhere, so be ready for that. Oh, and there's the 4th one the connector was hiding, right there. There we go, cover's off. I'm gonna grab some paper towels in case we make a mess, or at least one paper towel here. I doubt there's much oil sitting in there, but. Okay. It did make a little bit of a mess. If you look, that cover right there is the actual problem. And there's tons of oil in this cover, and it should probably be basically dry. Let's open up our new cover here. It's got a new O-ring, it's got a new seal, it's got a new sensor, like that's cool. No wonders it costs almost, this by itself was like $80 or $75, but really cool. We're gonna go ahead and lubricate that seal a little bit. I'm just gonna use the old oil from this cover. The oil was just changed like a week ago on this car. I know that for a fact, so I'm not worried about this oil at all. Okay. 30-mile-an-hour winds today, so the whole building's rattling. I feel a little bit bad about that. Nothing I can do. All right. So that's ready to go on, and that O-ring should make sure no oil gets past it. Clean my hand off here. I also have another paper towel down there to protect the belts from getting oil on them. Don't want it dripping down and it throwing a belt or something. So let's install our new cover. This should just fall right on basically. Just like that. We'll start these tins, plug the thing back in, and then drive in the plug that actually prevents the oil from leaking back into the cover. Hand tighten down those 4 bolts, plug the sensor back in, and then I'll pull my paper towel out of here. We're in a full lockdown. That's a dual train situation, but dope truck, bro. That looks perfect. So Hyundai will not sell me the special tool to install this plug that goes into the end of the cam actuator or the cam. So we're gonna use a 1/2-inch socket because it's really close to exactly what you need. So let's set this thing to 19 millimeters. And about on the money. There's honestly close enough, but we've got it at 19. And now we're gonna go around this socket and mark 19 in 3 spots. This is the actual service manual install. There's one, there's another. They even say to do this on their tool for some reason. I don't know why. I think their tool's step to do this automatically. Okay. And we'll just put a 4th one on there. And then we'll come around with some tape and mark this. So this is the installation depth. That's what our tape is here. And we're all the way around, nice and straight. So the seal goes in like this. This is the outside, this is the inside. We're gonna use our seal driver like this, our custom built seal driver. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and start it with my finger so it doesn't fall down inside the cover. All right. And I don't know if you even need, yeah, you don't need a tool or anything for this. I thought you might have to tap it in, but it looks like you can just push it. And honestly, it kind of stopped. Let's see, it can go in just a little bit more to get to 19 millimeters. There's the new cover with the new seal installed. And then I grabbed the old breather cover off the old one, cleaned it off just a little bit. Probably want to make sure that there's still a hole in there so that it can get air through it. And then that just goes in there. It just snaps in. That's it. Now it's time to take that pile of parts and it's done. Check it out. All back together, motor mount assembled, and the reservoir on. All that's left is the big plastic cover. You guys know how important that is. Can't run an engine without one of those. There it went. All that's left to do now is start it up and make sure everything's working right. Hopefully it doesn't set the code again. I'm sure it'll be perfect. Well, let's drive it around. Feels like it's back on track so far. I'll put a few miles on this and see if it ever tries to set the code again. That code is intermittent. Once you kind of diagnose it, you'll notice that it's just sometimes there, sometimes not. So if you're getting it, go ahead and replace all those seals. And that is why I love Hyundai repairs. Straightforward, the parts make sense, the engineering makes sense, super easy, it doesn't take much time. And honestly, you can do it all with basic hand tools, which is just such like a blessing from these Hyundai and Kia engineers. That's why I love these cars. I keep trying to tell you guys. Anyway, that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this helps you out if you get the P0010. And I'll throw links in the description below for all these parts. Don't forget to head on over to shop.watchjayrgo.com where you get cool shirts just like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. And I will talk to you next time. It's pretty wild that Hyundai decided that this was an application where a slip ring would work really well. Obviously, everything's actuated electronically, and that thing turns a ton of RPM. It's not like the old school slip rings that just sit there and glide around at a couple RPM on carnival rides and stuff. Pretty sweet. Look what's back though. No check engine light. Going down the road with adaptive cruise the way it's supposed to. Man, I'm so happy my truck's back. And they got it done in like 2 days. No big deal. The union welders are here. Put in some work.
Ain't no union welders. Right to work stay.
This is looking pretty good. One more cut?
G.
Huh?
Nice cut, G.
Yeah, you're doing good work with your Milwaukee saw.
Oh yeah.
She is bad. Boom.
Up a little bit more.
A little rotation.
I got it.
I think I can drop it in there, can't I?
Well, I need to do one more flip. Up a little bit. Right there.
Somebody's asking about Milwaukee stuff yesterday. We got this.
Okay.
We got
Get it a little bit.
We got
here.
this. got this.
Hold it right there. Yeah, what's up with that Harbor Freight blower over there?
Oh, it's not mine. You know that's not mine. I would never.
I did turn it on. It seemed like it had some power. Today, Junior. Okay, this is not.
What are you doing?
All right, hold up. You ready to record?
Yeah, it's rolling. If you guys wonder how that thing cuts like butter, it's the Diablo metal blades and the
I did lose a couple teeth
Yeah.
Did you?
We don't
earlier on the first
don't really
blade.
recommend those on that saw.
Yeah, I mean it has held up so far, but I don't know how many cuts they say they do. Hold on, pull it back.
But apparently it's 3.
We'll find out when we get done with this beam. All right.
Okay.
Then it'll be 5 cuts. To you. Loosen it up a little bit. Right there.
I do have more batteries. Beautiful. Super fast.
Red eye.
Just palm it, man.
Here, dump it.
I am the
Right out
Highlander.
of it.